Hey everybody, this is Willie Jello Johnson on the Titus Podcast. You can't kill Willie. By the way, people, you want to get some DVDs? Go to ChristopherTitus.com and get one of his 6 specials. That's right, 90 minutes of ha-ha for you. By the way, there's free shipping through September 31st because all the money's going to Fun Special Unit. And now, with the Armageddon update, is Christopher Titus.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And this is the first of the 5 positive podcasts I promised you. What that means is you are forcing me to find the good in the world, and that is some work. In between us having 236 days in the year and already 240 mass shootings in 2015, between finding out that Bill Cosby is basically Cos the Ripper and the presidential field is full of people I wouldn't trust to run a car wash, it's kind of hard to find the good. But this week, we had some. That's right. 2 American servicemen stopped a terror attack in France while on a train this last week. Now, I'd like to really first talk about what a bunch of flat-out weak-ass punk moves terrorists are pulling. Really, guys? France? I mean, if you guys are really terrorists, you might try to walk into Fort Worth, Texas, or Newark, New Jersey. Yeah, but that would be hard, wouldn't it, Jimmy Jihad? You know, people would get involved, and you wouldn't get a chance to spew your woman-hating, head-chopping off, man, hand-holding, weak-ass religion. And by the way, if your religion says that people need to die, it's not a religion. It's a battle plan. And I just want to ask one more question. How does it feel to have your ass handed to you on a train in France? That's right. You got your ass kicked in France. That will not look good on our t-shirt, my friend. You're pretty much not even going to make the first cut on the ISIS job interview. 2 American servicemen and a college student saw a man with an AK come out of the bathroom on a train. Anthony Sadler, Spencer Stone, and Alec Scarlatos then jumped up and did an Americanized beatdown on this punk-ass bitch, as my grandma would say. I would tell you the terrorist's name, but why? I guess if some people on vacation take your gun away, you're not really a terrorist. And if they do it in France, you're not really a man. So let's break it down. The guy had 8 full clips and an AK-47. He had a Luger and a box cutter, because I guess after 9/11, the box cutter is like these Allah-loving idiots' Lucky Rabbit's foot. So he was weaponed up, and yet he ended up on the floor of a train with his ankles tied to the back of his head. And all it took for that to happen was for a couple of human beings to say, this will not happen. We will stand up and deal with this evil prick, and he will not kill anyone if we can help it. So throughout history, the difference between civilization and a rapey, cannibalistic murder free-for-all is just a couple of normal guys standing up, willing to take one for the team. We aren't those people anymore, though, are we? We are the people that check our friend count on Facebook and buy selfie sticks to take better pictures of ourselves to show our friends that aren't real. But if we really had that many friends, we wouldn't need a stick to take a picture. We could actually have one of our friends take a picture. We are fake and self-centered, myself included. But these men that got involved and stopped a massacre are held up as heroes, and all they did was the right thing. Let me repeat that. All they did was the right thing. I'm inspired. Don't let the bastards win. We are living in a country where anyone at any time can take a gun and shoot you based on some rules in a document written hundreds of years ago. Yet these guys got sliced up and shot to make sure other people didn't get sliced up and shot. You know, for all the times the people on television make me feel ashamed to be a human being, these guys made me proud to be one. At least until the next time Trump speaks. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Hello, everybody. Christopher Titus Podcast. Wow, we are now, I think, deep into our third and 3.5 years of doing this.
I thought we were in our 4th year.
Are we in the 4th year? To the right of me, Bombshell Rae.
What's up, people?
Way in the back, Fetus Farmer. Hey! It's a good one. There's some energy in it. There was some love in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by the way, just so you guys know, the Right Guy podcast, Fetus's and his buddy's podcast, is on iTunes. So if you guys want to listen to it, you go listen to it. And then you can really get to know Fetus a little bit better, because you're not going to get to know him better here. So what's going on with the this thing? Do you see this about these guys in Paris?
I did.
Here's the thing. It's so rare that you see people stand up and light up a mofo, because that's what they did. They stood him up, lit him up, and then he hurt some people. And then the Marines, not only that, I think they were Marines, they were soldiers. One was an Air Force guy, and I think one was Army. Then after one of the guys got cut with a box cutter in the throat, one of the passengers. Mm-hmm. After they tied the other dude up, the guy held his finger on the dude's neck so he didn't die. Now, all I got to say is every once in a while, people will do something that makes you wish you had those kind of balls. Because it was pretty ballsy. But then again, in every situation I've ever been to where I stood up for something and got in the way of something, it wasn't because I was ballsy. It's just because I got mad that this shouldn't. I wasn't going, I'm going to be courageous now. I am a superhero. I will step into the fray and stop these bullets. I was like, this can't happen. I'm not letting this happen. And I'm scared. I'm shaken, but you do it. I've never done what these guys did, ever. I had a little incident at the airport, though, coming back from Tacoma last week.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to do what these guys did.
I don't think I ever
I
would.
feel like you would, in that situation, do exactly what these guys did, though.
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't do it as well, though. I wouldn't do it as well. I did a lot of screaming, a lot of knock it off.
A lot of hand-waving.
A lot of hand-waving. No! I'd
Yeah.
say no a whole lot. But this is the first positive podcast, so I want to be positive. Remember that I said I would do a positive Armageddon update? I did. Positive, right? That counts as one, yeah?
Yeah, that
So I only have 4 more to go.
is
Okay.
this. I guess it's positive. I mean,
No,
yeah.
it was very positive. It was about how good we need to, as people, we can step up.
I
and
guess
these
when I
guys-
think of positive, I think of like puppies and
I'm not-
sunshine and beach trips and
Okay.
like radical remission cancer patients.
Okay. So next week I'll have to get. So all right. Well, let me just put my toe in the positive water then. Don't make me.
You are dabbling.
Don't make me jump into rainbows and unicorns on day one. Okay.
This is
I'm
dabble.
just pointing out that these guys are good. I'm feeling it out.
Can I tell you, I feel like it's a little bit of a setup, though, because I feel strongly that this is a setup for you to talk about what's wrong with the world today. Because I feel
do you mean it's a setup?
leaning that direction. You're calling it positive, but you're going to point out how people are no longer raised like this and how rare this is and this never happens.
I'm
we're
positive about
a
that.
generation of pussies. And
Wow, someone's being very negative on the podcast, and it doesn't have to be Titus today.
I just feel like I'm being set up a little bit.
Farmer, am I being negative yet?
Not yet.
See, there you go. That's all I want to hear.
Okay.
Even that wasn't positive. Even he wasn't positive. It was just neutral. No one, you guys aren't being positive. I would like to point out every second you guys aren't positive because I am positive. Now, I love you guys so much, even though you're not being positive. I understand that there's a darkness in you that I probably created. The point being, I was in the Tacoma airport, and my son and I way too early. My son and I went to Tacoma. By the way, Tacoma Comedy Club. If you guys go there, it is so cool. It's kind of a little old school and a little new school, and they've been open for 5 years now. And the first time I went there, it was great. It was fine. It was good, but they didn't have what I call comedy in the walls. Like a comedy room will soak up laughter after a while, is my theory. And then once the audience gets trained, the club just rocks. So it's the Northwest. People are educated. They're smart. They don't live in a nightmare like we live in Los Angeles. And it was just great. The new show is not even ready yet, and I got 2 standing ovations out of the 5. And the new show, it's only like 75, 80% right now. But it really clicked. So my son and I, Jet, right, are at we were hanging out. Went to the LeMay Automotive Museum, which was kick butt. And my son is not the best. He's not a car guy like me. He's not like, Dad, let's go get some. Come on, top fuel, nitro, fuel Sunday. That's not my son. My son is like, hey, Dad, let's play football, not football, football. So that
What?
you know what I mean. He's you know him,
I have met him.
and what do you think?
He is very disinterested with things like working on the car. The couple times lately that you've made him, because you've decided you're going to man him up a little bit, and you've made him come work on cars with you, he will come home and he's just sort of deflated. And I'll say, how was it? It was great, right? And he's like, yeah. That's what he always says. Yeah.
Again, even my son's not positive, but I'm very positive because I think he does a great job.
You're super positive.
We went to this. I got him a little amped up. We were walking to the LeMay Car Museum, and I know I'm dragging him through it. I want to go see the muscle cars and stuff. I'm dragging him through it, and I realized. So we get to the second floor, and he goes, "What was that car up on top?" I go, "Which one?" He goes, "That brown one when we first came in." And I like these alarm bells go off my head. I'm like, what car? Let's go look at it. So you like that car? You like that? And we go back upstairs, and it was this 440 Super B. Just Mopar. It was this dark bronze, badass, hot rod muscle car. And I wanted to hug him and go, welcome. Thank you for showing up. Then downstairs on the second floor, they had these racing simulators. Not a video game. It was a full-on $60,000 racing simulator for $8. You can play it. And you're on Laguna Seca or whatever track. And we both did it. And because it combined one of his loves video games, he just... And by the way, the seat, when you wreck the car... the seat gives you whiplash. The seat literally causes injuries. It's all hooked to pistons and stuff, and it rattled him around like crazy. And he played that twice, and when he got out, his eyes were lit up, and he was like, "Oh, it's the coolest thing ever." So I have to say that I think I kind of infected him a little bit with the future of he could be the next generation of automotive guys. Do I think he's going to race
Automotive video
Yeah,
game.
do I think he's
guys.
going to play? Do I think he's going to race Top Fuel? No, he's not going to race Top Fuel. But I do believe that he may be in a little bit more on the car thing. So I'm stoked.
I feel like a lot of people that are gamer listeners
Mm-hmm.
are silently cheering right now because you just said that your son loves video games,
not
and they
a
were
video
like,
game.
"Wait, what?
It
What did he
is-
just say?"
It
Whoa!
is a simulator that basically there's a difference between a simulator and a video game.
No. But he plays video games. But half of his life he does not. Half of his life with you he does not,
He
and
does
the
not.
other half with his mother he does.
Compared to him as living with us and his mom, he is Amish when it's with us. When it comes to video games, he literally is. He's kind of taken out of that world. So we go to the airport on Monday morning after our shows, and as I go up to the Southwest counter, because it's a short flight, we have a rule. I'm not a big fan of
You
Southwest.
have a really strict rule.
I've ever said, but 2.5 hours or less, I'll fly to Southwest because of money. So I'm standing there, and there's this guy, this black guy, wearing what looks like a Ivy League blazer and khakis, and he's holding an umbrella. And there's two Orthodox Jews standing like one counter down from him. You know, that big counter with the window aisle down. And this guy's going, "Please," and he's screaming at the top of his lungs in a packed airport. He's going, "Please worship the Jewish kings. Oh, the Jewish kings who run the world, who oppress the people." And he's screaming in the airport. And I walk into what the hell's going on? Like that. At first I thought, okay, is this a Second City here doing some sort of bit? And then I realized this guy is high, hammered, or crazy. And and he keeps doing it. And he goes, "Look at the Jewish," and he's really getting in, and everybody's looking down. No one's doing anything. And all of a sudden I go, "Hey, hey!" And he turns around and I go, "Knock it off." And he goes, and he points his umbrella at me, and he starts screaming more. "No, you look at the Jewish kings. Do you worship them?" And I go, "Dude, shut up." And I put my luggage down and I walk over to him. Well, so once I said something, this dude in line who's got a big backpack on and luggage goes, "Dude, knock it off." And the guy goes, and he points at the elevator. He goes, "I will not stop worshiping the Jewish kings." And he's really being a dick. And so the guy goes, "I will kick your ass right here." And I go, "Dude, stop. We're not gonna kick his ass in the airport." And I get between him and the Jewish guys, and I start backing him up. Well, the dude did too. It's weird. If you've ever been in a fight, hey, Fetus, you ever been in a fight, like a full-on fight?
I've gotten punched in the face before.
Did you ever punch back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Was
did you,
he still there when you punched back?
Yes.
Did you connect
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
nice. Hey, very nice.
in the face?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he told this story. This is a good story. It's one of those stories where I'm telling you, you say what you want. The first time a dude punches you and you connect back is one of the most satisfying.
it was a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you are really...
No. I was really curious.
Yeah, girls were vicious in my school, so it could.
I know women can be very vicious. I was curious.
It was a guy. I'm sorry.
They're
dude.
also slow to duck, so that's why I figured he might have connected.
They don't believe. Women will never believe you'll hit them back. That's why. As well, they should never believe that, and you should never do that
Thank you.
unless it's someone from Fetus' school. So now I get between this dude and this
Or
guy,
Caitlyn
and
Jenner.
and this guy's about as tall as I am, and he's got this umbrella, but it's closed up. And I go, "Back off and shut the fuck up." And the dude looked at me like he was going to hit me, and then he opened. Then he had another look. Then they went from. I guess you've said this to me. I don't know. I've seen it on my kid's face. I don't know what it is about my big square skull that when I get pissed, my face changes and people take it very
It's
seriously.
your eyes. It's not your face.
Really?
They get red ringed.
Fetus, why are you nodding?
They get red ringed and liquidy and like ice, and it's this. It's like it's you got it from your mom's side, definitely.
Oh yeah,
It's-
my mom's mental illness. Yeah, you're right.
It's scary. It's uncomfortably unpleasant.
Well, good, because it works. And then I have a little arrow in my quiver.
And we have talked about this before, but for people that weren't around then, you have a thing that I learned when I first started hanging out with you.
I didn't even think about this till just now. You're right.
That because of your mother being manic depressive, schizophrenic, crazy, and the things that you dealt with her, You have a switch that when we're out in public and there's a crazy person or a really aggressive homeless person, you have a switch that flips on where it's not the same as it is for other people. And you instantly turn around and get right in their face with those scary, leaky eyes and back them off. And it scares them. People that spend all day scaring other people, I have seen look at you and go, oh, shit, and turn around and walk away, which you're very proud of. You're actually swelling with pride right now.
I'm not swelling with pride as much as I that my whole life crazy scared me all the time because I lived with it for a long time. And when you're scared all the time as a little kid, you make a decision at one point where you don't care. I don't care if I get hurt.
This just got sad. Oh my gosh, that was the most raw and honest you've ever been about.
Positive podcast.
Yeah,
Positive, totally positive. But you get to this place.
Well,
where
during the positive podcast, Titus peels back the onion layers of bitterness. Do you see him? He's actually unpeeling right now. That was really beautiful.
You guys need to shut up. So basically, I made a decision about maybe when I moved back to my mom's, probably about 12 and a half. That crazy. I would rather get stabbed by crazy and make sure crazy doesn't do it to someone else, and then just kind of walk past it. So what happens is I get in this dude's face, and I'm in his face, and he looks at me, and he's gonna go. And then I see him, whatever happened in his eyes, he just went, nope. And he backed up 3 steps and he opened his umbrella and he starts spinning it like Fred Astaire. He starts going, the Jewish king! And he keeps doing it again. I'm going, you know the cops are coming, right? They've already called the cops. And I go, did you guys call the cops? To the counter lady. She goes, yeah, security's on the way. I go, you're about to get arrested. Do you know that, dumbass? And he's going, and I keep walking towards him and he keeps backing up. And all of a sudden we hear, hey, you! And we look, and there's 3 cops in vests showing up. And this dude, it was
bulletproof vests or like pinstripe vests?
No, like the kind that they wear on Caltrans wears on the freeway, so you don't run over them.
Oh.
Okay, let's say it wasn't bulletproof; it was reflective. So if the bullets
because you said it like with respect. 3 cops in vests.
Yeah, you know what? It was actually reflective vests. Actually, so if the bullets were really shiny, they may have bounced off. So the guy just all of a sudden he beelines for the door, and these guys followed him out. But people get involved to a degree. Here's the thing. We're all afraid that something's going to happen. Also, the news actually kind of pretty much blows it up. You know, things do happen. But they usually happen to people that are running. They don't happen to people that are getting involved. Because usually when you get involved, the person that's causing the havoc, that's causing the mayhem goes, oh, shit. And usually one person jumping in, starting it, 3 others will go, okay, that guy flicked the switch, let's all go get this bastard. So don't be afraid to take whatever tiny little piece of the country back from these idiots.
What I wanted to say about your thing, I forgot to mention, and you started to touch on it, is that thing that you do with crazy people and aggressive homeless people and stuff like that. It's not for you ever, because you could ignore it. You're not scared of it or anything. You do it for other people. I have watched you. You're always defending the little guy. Always. The other people in line, the elderly person that they're asking for money or whatever it is. You have this. You have a Superman complex. And
wow, you turned something so positive.
No, you do.
You're mentally ill. You have a Superman complex. You need to stop it.
No, it's really honorable thing that you do, but it's because of your mom and watching your mom do what she did to your sister and stuff like that. And I think you were too young to be able to defend her, and now you're playing that out in your adult life. But I call you Justice Man.
Yes.
And you wipe out injustices in Sherman Oaks in Hollywood, California, one horn honk at a time.
I'm probably going to get stabbed, but the thing is that I do. That's what it is. Because usually anybody who's that crazy, they're not. I mean, these two Jewish guys were just little skinny Orthodox Jews with the hats on, waiting in line. They were being very calm. They weren't reacting. They were just sitting there. Everybody in line was looking at the floor.
Right.
The counter looking at the floor, and I'm just like, this motherfucker is screwing up 30 or 40 people's lives. And it was like 7 in the morning. He's screwing up all our days. This guy's going to get taken out.
What happened in Shreveport when you got in that altercation? Who was that guy? It's always someone messing with someone else.
There was a dude. I was breaking up a fight. These 2 guys were going to start fighting. It was Brady.
Oh,
and
that's right.
It was a friend of yours and someone else. And this guy was just drunk. He was just drunk. And I was, I was dating you. And I was like, I didn't, and it was your club, and I'm like, I don't want this to happen. So, knowing what I know, I just got between them, and I said, guys, knock this out. This is stupid. Both you guys.
You actually put him on the ground
Well,
outside.
that's
and
the
you were on top of him, whispering in his ear.
At first, what happened was.
Stream. Go to stream.
No, 5 minutes before that, I broke him up. I said, guys, stop. I said, Brady, just leave it alone. And I told this guy, I said, dude, you're drunk. It's okay, man. You just have a good. Why are you ruining Saturday night?
He ran for him, didn't he?
So then guy goes, all right, and I walked the dude about 30, 40 feet away, and I kind of walking him out into the district, right? That's what it's called. I walk him out there, and the guy turns around and just beelines back for Brady. And then I got mad. So I got mad because I talked to get the guy. I spent time to break it up. I was doing the right thing. And then all of a sudden the dude jumps at Brady again. And so before the guy gets to him, I get on him, get his face into the ground. I get a wrist lock on him, and I'm whispering in his ear, I was going to let you go, dude. This didn't have to happen.
You became Batman.
And then the cop, I did. I was going to let you go, but that's not going to happen now. The cops are coming. Yeah. This city will not be run over by idiots like you.
And then you got back in your Corvette, and there was just a lot of honk, honk, honk.
Good move, it's green, idiot.
Honk. What are you, stupid? People just don't pay attention. Honk. A lot of that going on.
That's Batman's much less side.
That's his weapon. Justice Man's weapon is a horn.
Listen, that's why it's so funny because I watch comics and I love comedy. I watch a lot of comedy and I watch comics that are their whole act is how weak they are and how they're ineffectual. And I just don't understand.
That's very popular.
It's very popular. You know what I'm talking about, Fetus? That kind of I'm a dork comedy. They're so dorky. Like I couldn't do anything. I can never get a woman. I can never stand up for myself. I'm gonna get my ass. You know the comedy I'm talking about?
Like Louis.
Yeah, but Louis
Not so much Louis.
Not so much Louis. There's an aggressiveness in Louis that you can deal with. I'm talking about there's just a lot of guys.
Alternative comics that are just like, well, I'm just high and I get beat up and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I what's what we're gonna call it? Wimp comedy, I guess weak comedy. I don't know, whatever it is. It's funny. Some of it's funny, but I just never understood it because the world doesn't work. Those people lose, and I don't. And I guess my comedy's always. I guess maybe that's why I don't have a massive 9 million followers because I'm kind of aggressive.
John Mulaney walks a really fine line, and he does it well.
But he's in charge of it, though.
He's very in control, and he's very intelligent, and you get that he sort of handles his world, but you also know that he just got his driver's license. He drives like a 95-year-old woman, but
he's also the guy that did that. But people listen to John. If you have not listened to John Mulaney, John Mulaney is so funny. There's a bit called the Tom Jones bit. It is probably one of the funniest things I've heard. And he's aggressive. And he used to be a blackout drunk, and he stopped drinking. So there's an aggressiveness to John Mulaney that's really kind of funny. And I wouldn't put him in that category.
If you want to get to know John Mulaney, look up Antique Photos, my all-time favorite. I think one of the greater comedy bits of this generation.
Definitely.
And then the Tom Jones "What's Up, Pussycat" bit.
Oh, that
which
bit.
Makes you laugh so hard every time.
I've listened to it 50 times, and it's still hilarious. So these guys did that. These guys, and Fetus was saying that one of the guys heard the AK click. Like, I guess he's a soldier and he got trained. Get on the mic for a second. Tell us what you know. And now Fetus gets on the mic.
So, thank you for letting me on the mic.
So, yeah, there you go. That's the way to start.
One of the soldiers actually heard the click of the AK, and it. I think he had headphones on, and even with the headphones on, he heard it being.
It's so distinctive.
Yeah, it's so
That's
distinctive.
a dude with post-traumatic stress
So,
syndrome.
I was reading comments on Reddit, and some other former soldiers say that it's such a unique combination of clicks on an AK-47, like more so than any other gun, that if you're a soldier and you hear that, you just never forget it.
It also probably turns you on.
Yeah,
it's like Superman getting activated.
Oh, totally. So the gears start turning in your head, and suddenly it's like you're in, beast mode. Like you're full on awareness, adrenaline rush, that whole thing. So
he got up and they just went after the dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They knew. So that's all I got.
All right, petered out off the mic. Wow,
he did peter.
Petered right out. I was waiting. I was going to let him go, but he just kind of went.
Then he muted himself and walked away.
I've never seen someone pull the emergency brake that fast. Nice job, Fetus. We'll work it up. We'll build you up to 3 minutes. But Right Guy Podcast, check it out. Just because if I do that, then he doesn't want to be on ours.
Yeah, he does.
By the way, okay, Sophia, we love you. We're just making fun of you, right?
No.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. There's a lot of his past. Every time we do this, there's a lot of his past that comes up. And I know a lot of his past from stories he's told me, tearfully.
Tears?
I didn't have no tears. Shut up.
Tears?
I wasn't crying. So these guys did it. They stood up, and the guy came out. The guy came out, and we had no shirt on, but an AK slung over his shoulder like Rambo.
Tons of ammunition.
Yeah, 8 full clips, and then they basically, one guy grabbed the gun. That guy got shot. That was
almost lost some fingers.
That was a French tourist. No, that was the one. That was the Air Force guy. I think. So they started slashing.
Right.
That guy got cut. Another dude, a tourist, grabbed the gun. He got shot. Someone got slashed in the neck, and then they just basically beat the shit out of the guy. They were pounding on this dude. 3 of them were just pummeling the guy. The picture I saw online, someone took some cell phone video. Is the dude?
I thought you were gonna say selfies.
So what I would in
Almost
a second.
massacre
I'd be like,
on the train.
Click. Hey ISIS, here's your dude. Here's your bro. The guy they got him hogtied, and his feet are just like cranked up so high. There's the dude's, and you can tell he's in horrible pain. The guy said he was not a Muslim extremist. He said he wasn't a terrorist. He said he was just going to rob the train. And then they went to his cell phone. They found out that he had literally just watched like the greatest ISIS hits video while he was waiting for the train.
Hits?
You know, I'm sure they do. They got to. You know, he watched the jihad. That's how the music goes. So he'd watch it. So he's obviously a terrorist and into it. What worries me now is that these people be really vigilant, be aware, because right now there's a lot of propaganda out there, and the crazy hasn't stopped in our country. There's like crazy people. There just is. People are desperately looking for something to fit into, something to be part of, and what ends up happening is you get this guy who's never called ISIS. Maybe he's just checked out the websites. He's not part of a terrorist organization per se, but he says, I'm going to be the lone wolf. Because as you were saying earlier today, we have now got to this place where because of selfies, self-centeredness, selfie sticks, Facebook, anybody who's a little crazy thinks they can be popular, because we all have a tiny little bit of fame in our own mind now because of Facebook and stuff. You know,
I said this was one of my proposed T-shirts in, I think, 2010. I wanted to tell you that. I think we've been doing this since 2010.
Have we really? Wow.
Yeah. But
we need to get more listeners for
right. We should have like 50 million by now.
Yeah. Especially as good as we are.
Is that selfies to me just mean you have no friends. I see selfies on all kinds, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I never think, wow, you look good. Right. I always, because selfies to me, it's like someone's going, look how hot I look. Right. I looked so hot to me that I had to document it and post it on social media for all of my fake friends to agree how hot I think I look.
Yeah, did you see me? Look at me, because
right.
I put a picture of me up.
I just put on these pants, and my ass looked so amazing to me that I had to turn sideways and stick it out and take a selfie and post it on social media. I always feel sorry for people that post selfies. I never think even I follow a lot of fitness competitors right. and fitness models and stuff. And when they do it and it's like 10 a day, here's my butt, here's my butt, here's my, like all day. And I always just think like, oh, don't you have anybody to take that picture?
And your butt has more followers than you, so you better maybe start working on a
What about your brain? Could somebody post a picture of your brain from time to time?
Fetus has this look on his face like he's not worried about these selfie butt pictures at all. No, he likes it.
It's the same butt every day, all day. Yeah. I just think sometimes, why don't you post a couple pictures of your mom? How's your relationship with your mom? I know how you are with your ass.
People never have pictures of their kids in selfies either. It's never like, here's me and the kids.
No.
It's always just, hey, look at me, look at me. Kids are shoeless behind them. They're holding
my haircut,
splitting a sandwich.
My meal. Yeah, everything. My new car, my shoes, it's like I can't even take it. But what I was saying to you today in reference to, because we now have had the reporter and the photographer get killed on air.
Yep, yes,
live while it's happening.
Hey, Fetus, what did you say yesterday? We had we've had 237 days in the year, 240 shootings.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what I was saying is, especially like when I was studying criminology, but especially now with this newer, more popular trend of mass killings, What it all has to do with is narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. And it's getting worse because the way
NPD.
that we are raising our kids and the way that society is going, it's become this very me society. People get out in the real world and all of a sudden it's not me. Like you actually have to get a job and you have to start lowly at McDonald's, or you have to go to school and
you're
have
not
to,
popular with anybody.
You're not popular and everybody hates you because that's how the world works,
Yeah,
right?
that's how it is for
You're
all
broke,
of us.
you eat ramen noodles if you're lucky. I mean, that's just the world, right?
You're buying a 25-pound bag of white rice so you can last the week.
I used to buy ramen noodles because they were 17 cents a pack.
I started bulk buying a rice, and then you try to... Watermelon will only last about 4 days once you cut it open. I know that.
Plus, it didn't fill you up. I would look for things that filled me up.
Yeah.
But so people...
But that's normal. Here's the thing is that to you people that get depressed about that, it's normal. That's how you're supposed to feel.
Right. That's my point. But what I was saying to you today is, so these mass killings, they're doing this because if you can't get it any other way, you get a lot of media attention if you kill a bunch of people. Even if you kill yourself, you become infamous. And infamous is these days just as good as famous.
Yep.
And a lot easier to get. Infamy is easy to achieve, fame is not. So these people are doing this. This Charleston guy that didn't kill himself. So now he's hugely famous. Jared Loughner, everybody knows his name. The Aurora Theater shootings, everybody knows these people, right? So if the media would just stop covering it, if that became a thing where they stopped covering it, they don't, because they keep saying on the news, well, we just have to get inside the killer's mind. No, we don't.
No one gives a
I'm a
shit.
stand-up comedian for a living. Titus is a film school graduate. Neither of us need to know. We don't need to get inside his mind. Criminologists can do that. The FBI can work on that. What they should do is never say his name, never say a word about his background, never have people on that talk about his mental state. We should have the next however many days just talking about the people that lost their lives senselessly.
Do you know what... Fetus, go ahead. On the mic, go ahead.
It would stop these killings.
He rarely raises his hand.
Oh, he raised his
He
hand.
raised his hand. When he raises his hand, I got to call on him.
So I think a lot of the general public is kind of in that same mindset too, because like I'm really big on Reddit, which is a major like website for people to like community
On the
group.
pulse of society.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
just
It's
call
on,
Reddit.
It's on the pulse of society.
Usually
And-
way ahead of society.
yeah,
Reddit.
and on the top thread, the top post on Reddit after the shooting yesterday was let's not talk about the killer, let's talk about the people that were killed. And no one on the very few people on the site for the whole day were even mentioning the killer. Everything was just about the people that were killed. And so a lot of people were like, well, we don't know anything about the killer. We want to know more. And there was like a big debate that was going on about whether or not that should be a thing.
Let me ask you this, but those people that say that, to those people that said we want to know about the killer, and to the media that keeps pumping it, what the fuck do we need to know about the killer? He's crazy as shit because he killed some fellow human beings. Pretty much that's the beginning and the end of it, isn't it? I mean, I don't need to know where, why, or how. Your end result was you shot some innocent people. That's all I care about. I don't care. I don't want to know your name. So I think Ray's idea is brilliant. So if we did this, if the media went, 3 were shot today, we're going to talk about those people in a minute. And when they showed some of this woman's best clips, the charity work she did. They showed this cameraman, how he was always at his thing, and they talked about that. There was another shooting, and they never once, they could say the killer, but they never once show a picture. What would happen was, and Ray said this earlier today, she said that if that happened, people would go, I'm not going to get famous.
Show the outline, the silhouette outline with the question mark where the face goes.
Yeah.
Do you know how insane that would drive people that are planning this to achieve this kind of infamy? Do you know how crazy? Don't say his name ever. The family wants to do an interview. Sorry. You don't get fame for this. Sorry.
Yeah, they interviewed his attorney.
Right.
And I don't want to hear how good the guy used to be.
Right.
Sorry, end result. Let's talk.
Doesn't make her family feel any better.
Yeah, when I was 4, I was a pretty nice kid.
Yeah.
I'm a prick now.
No.
Let's just talk who I am now, all right?
You
Go ahead.
guys aren't wrong. The problem is that obviously that there's not really a ton of controversy and story in the feel good side. That's why the news is awful. Like people want the people want to know about the killer and the relationship that killer had with these.
Yeah,
on-air
but what if someone
personalities.
came out and made it very clear? Because a lot of a lot of Americans are dumb. And what if someone came out, somebody who people respect, like our president, and laid it out? Here is what he wanted, and you were giving that to him.
Yo,
and
you're
these
right.
will continue to happen as long as you, as American people, continue to let them do that and stop it.
It can't be the president. It has to be Bono.
Or
no one respects the
Bono
president.
would be, or Springsteen.
Springsteen, the president. Well, man, I got to say, this guy shot a bunch of innocent people, and And I don't know why we even talk about this man. You know, he don't deserve the time of day. He don't deserve a second of our time. You know, I'm Bruce Springsteen, and I've done some positive things in my life. But if I shot a bunch of people, I hope you would never bring my name up again. So, as a people, can we finally agree that maybe we should never bring up these killers' names again? If you shoot somebody, you're forgotten. You're put to rest. You're history. It's like you never existed. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait, no, Bruce. No.
What?
No. This
I'm
is
not.
just,
Can I play?
No.
Oh, every time at the end of a long speech, I always play a song.
Okay.
All right, I won't do it this time.
You're done. Cut.
All right. It's a podcast, right? All right. Thank you, Bruce.
I think too, they keep saying we got to get inside the killer's mind. Well, all the minds that they've gotten inside of for the last 5 years, it hasn't helped any of the next
Yeah,
victims.
Right, it isn't.
It didn't. Knowing about the
James Holmes
the-
didn't care.
gay dude in the Gold's Gym tank top in Charleston didn't make these newscasters more aware. They're all different. They're all crazy. There's, it's senseless to me.
It should just say crazy guy, new crazy guy kills some other people. Let's talk about those people and what they contributed to the world.
Right.
And crazy guy, you just become faithless crazy guy for the rest. And then
I understand Freedom of Information Act. I'm sure we're going to get some emails about that. I totally understand it. I'm not calling on it for rights. I'm not calling on people to exercise their rights.
I want to know. I want to know about this guy.
I'm calling on people to exercise their integrity, and that's the difference.
Yeah, and that would actually go a long way to if everybody did that. We're like, I don't give a shit about the guy who did the crazy thing. I don't care. What about the people that he killed? Because by the way, those people he killed could have been your brother, sister, could have been your mother. Wouldn't you prefer? By the way, so do me a favor, people. Next time this happens, put yourself in that situation. Like that woman, she was a 24-year reporter. She was 1 year older than Fetus. 1 year older than Fetus. She was a kid. She's a kid. She was doing well. She had just moved in with one of the other anchors there. They had been together like
married.
They were going to get married, right? So imagine this. Imagine you're at work. This guy had it bad. You're at work, and all of a sudden that you get a phone call that, by the way, your fiance just got
The
killed.
guy was engaged too.
Yeah. He was to a producer.
Yeah.
Both
to
of
the
them. You know
producer
how
there.
sick this is? Both of them were on air when this happened. The producer was sitting in the control room, and the anchor was sitting at the anchor desk watching it. So imagine that. It's like me standing in the back of the room watching someone. You standing in the back room watching someone shoot me on stage. Be like, So do me a favor, people. The next time this happens, imagine it's one of your family members. And do you want to hear about the asshole that shot them, or do you want your people honored? That's what I think we need to do. Let's honor the people that were innocent, the innocents that were killed, and let's fucking erase these assholes that do it. I don't think I'm standing for something really crazy right now, but people do get weird about, hey man, if I want to hear about it, I want to hear about it. I can hear what I want, what I want. We're not, again, Ray's not saying that. What kind of person are you that you really care more about the psychopath that killed people than you do about the people he killed?
Want to know what else is crazy?
What, Fetus?
Well, it's crazy because the photographer and the producer, that was their last day at that station.
Yeah, I saw that.
What?
Yeah.
It's like that last day on the job kind
Yeah.
of thing. It really was. They were going to move to a new station somewhere else
Yeah.
after that day. That was their last news broadcast.
I find the level of debauchery and evil that is in our society right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just been like this forever, but or maybe it's just the media because it's always in our face now. It just seems like we're at a dark place.
No, and gun rights people, you can write in, and it's been the same forever. And no, it hasn't. These mass killings, no, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It's out of control now.
That is true. When we have more killings than there's in a year than there are days in a year, that's a problem. That's a problem. If anyone doesn't, I got sent this really cool website. When I opened it, it's called Wonkette, and I thought it was a Second Amendment rights place. And again, I don't want to do this. Go to wonkette.com, and it's called with Liberty and Justice for All Who Survive. So here's how the Second Amendment has prevented tyranny lately. And there's a really cool skull logo, and it says it's funny because I read it and I read it pissed. I started reading it angry because and here's my fault. I'm supposed to be fairly neutral when people send me stuff, and I thought some Second Amendment gun nut just sent me a thing to stuff up my butt because he knew we were going to talk about what happened to these reporters yesterday. There was another killing. There was another shooting yesterday too. There was another big one, but it didn't take precedent because they weren't on TV.
Do you notice, too, that there's no formula for where it's done?
Right.
There's nowhere safe at all. I mean, you would think every time a new one happens, you think, oh, that would have been a safe place.
Yep.
I couldn't get shot. I'm actually on air right now. I'm on a news desk. You know what I mean? It's random.
Right. No,
It's never been done.
Anywhere, everywhere.
Right.
And it happens where, in the past it was, they got killed and they were in the streets of the ghetto. They were the bad part of town. They got shot. Nope.
Elementary school.
Nope. Elementary school in
Church.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
In Connecticut.
Yeah.
Churches, movie theaters. I'm watching a premiere of a movie. And that we can't do anything is insane to me. Even I've been on the road, and every once in a while someone will come up who when we're signing stuff after the show. Because by the way, guys, any show you guys come to, we're always out after signing stuff, talking to people. I'll be a lot of time the people have sign their NRA cards because of Arm the Children. They'll be like, "Can you sign my NRA card?" And I'll always get in a conversation with them. I go, "How do you think it's going?" To a person. Any serious gun owner, and I don't mean serious crazy, I mean serious, responsible, integrity-filled human being who, like, Fetus was raised with guns. Fetus likes guns. Fetus
I
was
was
shot.
too.
Yeah, you too. Whole life. Any serious, responsible gun owner goes, we got to do something. Every single time. They go, we have got to figure out. Some guy said to me, he goes, I'd be willing to pay a little more to keep my guns and be tested every year, whatever it is, pay a gun tax, gun insurance. But, man, there's people, hell no, I'm going to keep my baby boy. Say, I don't know I don't know what language that is.
Banjo.
Yeah, banjo. He's speaking banjo. All right, guys. So
I would love for Hitler to have a conversation with that guy.
That will never happen. Not this week, anyway. But I will think about it. So I'll let it run.
Everyone just sat up on the edge of their chair, like, what?
This is gonna be That's not. No, it's never as good as you think it's gonna be. So let's talk a little bit about. I want to wrap it up with these guys. These guys on the train that got involved. Don't be afraid to get involved, people. Here's the weird thing. The reason that these people get the balls to screw a society, the reason that someone is screaming in an airport ticket counter is because nobody gets involved. And they know there's this weird thing where everybody's afraid of me, and they've been trained because they acted a little crazy once and no one did something. Then the next time they acted a little more crazy and no one did something. Then they cranked their crazy up to a new level and people still didn't do anything. Well, guess what? Do something and we can stop the crazy a little bit. We can actually tone it down and we can take our little society back and people won't do crazy shit anymore. Or at least it'll take it down a notch. Just let everybody know that you're going to get involved. Just get involved. There you go. I'm Christopher Titus and that's, and now!
You don't have to fight. You just have to know how to duck.
Just, a lot of times it's just...
It's what I said that night when I was behind that guy when he was when he rushed you on stage.
Yeah.
And I grabbed that wine bottle by the neck and I was behind him. I knew it's not because I think I'm a badass or I could fight this guy. I knew I couldn't, but I was standing behind him very clearly thinking I get one shot.
Yeah.
One shot. And then he's going to beat the shit out of me, but one shot, and you have to be willing to take one shot and then run.
But you took your part of responsibility of something going wrong. You were like, this is not okay. I'm not going to let this happen.
Well, and also if you do that, other people around you will, just like what happened to you in the airport, it would have happened that night in the club. If those people sitting around me, several podcast people after said, oh my God, Bombshell, we saw you with a wine bottle and we were ready. It's like people will jump in to help if someone else you just have to take the initiative.
Yeah, you have to, it's almost like you're pointing out, everyone knows it's wrong, but they just don't know what to do. And if you go, hey, knock this shit off, if something switches, they go, yeah, you're right. This is wrong.
I don't like that.
We will not stand for this. I've got your back. You take the first punch, but I got your back. We always talk about a bit on the show. We've been doing this new segment where we talk about the bit. Neverlution, there's a bit called Terrorism in the News.
This video is going to be on Christopher Titus TV on YouTube today.
Yeah. It's not going to be up today, right?
It's already there.
It's already. If you go to Christopher Titus TV, you can watch it. I was after 9/11, and then we had the Iraq thing, and we had the financial crisis. The news never seems to go, it's going to be okay. I've never heard the news go, it's going to be fine. And I got to this place where I started focusing on that, and I started watching because I was watching the news all the time because of the podcast. And I really started to realize that the fear in our country, bad things happen, but the fear in our country is stoked and lit up, and fuel is added to the fire by our television news all the time. And even this killer thing happened yesterday, right? They've been talking about this dude and what can happen and open, and it's always a little scarier. I believe that Fetus is wrong. I don't believe we want to hear this. I do not believe you want to hear it. It has just become a normal thing. And if the news decided to not put it on, the news would still have the same ratings.
The news people would be taking the initiative,
Yep.
and other people, I bet, would rally behind it.
Right. So I wrote this bit in Evolution about terrorism. Well, let's define terrorism. Terrorism is when a group of people scare you on a constant basis.
And now Christopher Titus attempts to remember his own comedy special.
That's 3 comedy specials
Go
ago.
ahead, come on.
I
go.
don't have. I told everybody I don't have a lot of RAM.
People, let's define terrorism.
Let's define terrorism.
That's how it starts.
Okay, go ahead, finish it. You know it.
No, you go.
Yeah, I don't know it. Let's define terrorism. Terrorism is when a group of people.
What do terrorists do?
They keep you scared on a daily basis, right? It's a group of people that keep you scared on a daily basis. What does CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and ABC News do? Wolf Blitzer, terrorist. Nancy Grace, terrorist, and her plastic surgeon.
You left out a couple, but yeah.
I did. It's close. Look,
How are
watch
things on planet Vulcan, Nance? I don't think that made the special, actually.
No, I didn't. I was pretty harsh on her, by the way.
You were really harsh, and then you cut some of it out.
Well, she's, Nancy Grace, to me, has turned into a very hateful person. When she started...
Really?
Yeah, when she started, she wasn't that bad. She was kind of wanted to be liked.
I don't think I was around then.
It's everybody gets fame and money. My buddy Rick says fame and money just plugs an amplifier into the asshole you already are, and that is the truth.
Speaking of your buddy Rick.
Yeah, go to starlinggear.com, by the way, if you want to see some of the coolest stuff. And what's his thing on Instagram?
I actually thought it was starlinggear.net, but his Instagram is Starling Gear. But
go to Instagram Starling Gear. You'll see some of the coolest jewelry and rings and crap you've ever seen.
He's doing the coolest stuff right now too. It's worth going to see it. Starling Gear, STARLING.
Yeah, you'll say this a lot. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's
You'll
crazy. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to tell you. Speaking of Rick, who moved to Portland to get the hell out of
L.A.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have kids and can do what he wants.
Police want to get hands on Portland pooper. I just wanted to point this out. So, Portland is supposed to be this really idyllic place to live. We love it there. We're going to be at Helium in September for 2 nights only. We love it. And just not too long ago, there was the dildo thing where the dildos bandit. Are all over.
Yeah, they're throwing dildos up on the power lines.
Now there's a Portland pooper. The police are really upset and all the residents are calling him the Portland pooper. He has been seen defecating all over the southwest part of the city in recent weeks.
Is there a reason? Is he leaving notes?
No. People think that it's pre-planned where he's going to poop because he always has toilet paper with him. And one of the residents is quoted as saying, "You just don't know what to expect around here. People, they like to do their own thing, and they kind of march to the beat of their own drum here."
So here's the thing what a cool place Portland is. In Los Angeles, a crime wave would be someone breaking in to jewelry stores and stealing diamonds or shooting some LAPD officers, and there's a shootout in the street. In Portland, there's a guy walking around taking mild dumps on sidewalks and leaving a little bit of toilet paper. And to them, that's a supervillain. To Portland, that is a supervillain.
This is terrible.
For Portland, of course, he's ruining everything is what he's ruining.
I think people are upset about where he's pooping, but he's showing up with toilet paper, and he's doing it at schools and parks and things like that. But Portland police are asking people with any information on the Portland pooper because a storekeeper actually put up surveillance cameras to catch him. This has gotten so serious, and he got an image of him pooping, and he's distributed flyers all over the city. But they actually want people to call 503-823-3333 because
they have a pooper number?
They have a pooper hotline.
There's a pooper hotline. Oh, my God. That's how nice Portland is. People, that's how amazing the Northwest is. I was in Tacoma. Even in Tacoma, I was walking around Tacoma with my son, and I just went, this place just makes L.A. look like a nightmare. I so don't want to go home to L.A. It's so great. I have kids, though. Got to stay here for a little while. But boy, we're out when we're out.
He says bitterly.
Yeah. And now, from sea to shining sea, continent to continent, and sometimes space, it's Bombshell Rae with the Bombshell News.
I actually don't think it's coincidental that since Rick moved there that these things have started happening.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about Rick. Rick is such a cool dude and such a great guy, but he's also got this weird, manic, mild criminal streak.
Larceny.
But it's funny. It's always funny. And I think that every time there's a weird crime in Portland now, I always think, well, what did the city do to Rick now that he's pooping or throwing dildos on power lines? Yeah, that's who Rick is.
This story, our Deuce correspondent Ashley Cashman sent because it took her back to an episode of Titus.
Oh, okay.
Made her think of young Titus. And she actually quoted exactly the dialogue from the scene in her email to me. Police say an upstate New York man has had his 10-year-old drive his pickup truck home while he was sitting in the passenger seat drunk.
It's not. That's not unusual at all in my life. Not even close to unusual.
Police say that officers pulled over the pickup truck, and he merged off of the highway.
Because he has that kind of dad that he's been driving since he was 8.
Right.
That's kind of come and get in front of me, boy. Take the truck.
Found that. Well, she said that in the episode of Titus, which I don't know that I've seen that one, but you say you rolled down the window as a 10-year-old boy and said, "What seems to be the problem, officer?"
Yeah.
So 10-year-old was behind the wheel when they pulled him over, and his father is 46 years old. He was sitting in the passenger seat, extremely intoxicated.
And here's the weird thing. If the kid was competent behind the wheel, part of me thinks the dad is, although dad's horribly irresponsible, mildly responsible.
I thought
there's something about it. Is it in the country? Where is it? Where was it?
Albany,
New York. That's kind of upstate, right?
Yep.
Middle.
But it's not. It's kind of rural.
Say that word again.
Rural.
Rural.
It's rural, right?
You said rural.
It's kind of rural, right?
Say rural.
I said rural.
On the outskirts, yeah.
And now Titus tries to speak English. Rural. It is quite rural up there, isn't it? Is it not? I will use the King's English from now on.
Okay, say it like that.
That area is quite rural, is it not? There you go. Wow. The only person laughing in our entire listenership is you. And that makes me sad. We can't do that anymore.
It makes you happy.
That's why we don't have 9 million people.
Rural.
We're almost hitting close to 4
Say
million downloads.
judicial.
Judicial.
Say rural judicial.
In a rural judicial district.
You made Feedy laugh.
I love that you guys.
We have Feedy
I love
giggles.
that you get to a place where you're like, you know what, he can't say things. Let's make fun of the retarded kid. You guys would be horrible at a special school.
Or amazing.
Yeah, or amazing. We'd be laughing all the time.
I'll tell you this.
Evil pricks.
Okay, this is terrible. This is awful. I'm going to admit this just for my brother to hear. I had a what they called back in the day, mentally retarded great aunt. My grandmother's aunt, my great aunt.
Okay.
Her name was Janis. She was, as they always called her, the retard back then, because that was okay.
Because you only had one in the family, so it's the retard.
Yeah, that was the only one.
As opposed to one of.
Diagnosed anyway. Yeah, no, she was
By the way,
retarded. That's what people said.
They used to diagnose you as retarded. That was the diagnosis.
Right, now mentally handicapped or mentally challenged or whatever. Disabled.
Differently abled.
Different, specially abled.
Special.
She couldn't read or write, or she was like, I think maybe 7 or 8 years old.
You're describing half the people in Louisiana, by the way.
I know, but our standards are different now than they used to be. And she would chew gum and then stick it on her nightstand and then pick it up the next morning and chew it. And I remember looking with fascination at that in her room because they'd all be covered with dust and hard and stale, and then she'd go and pick them up. She had dolls in plastic boxes that I just desperately wanted to play with, and she wouldn't let me touch them. She wouldn't let me touch anything. And so I used to I'd be reading because I was an avid reader from the time I was 4 years old, and I would always take my book and hand it to her and say, "Read me this, Janis."
Oh, really? It was kind of threatening, like a 4-year-old looking at a threat like that. That's kind of scary.
She cried. She actually went to my great-grandmother and cried.
It's good. It's good that you're a bully at 4 to someone who's mentally handicapped. Nice job.
Thank you.
And that's why I like you. And that's why
Look
you
at
like
Fetus. Look,
and
he's
that's
proud.
And that's why you like me, because I'm kind of mentally handicapped, and you can actually make fun of me.
And Fetus and I say, "Here, say this."
Yeah, say that. Say judicial.
And you also stick your gum on the nightstand.
But I throw it away the next morning. That's the difference. Sometimes I'm in bed and I don't want to swallow gum.
And you won't let me play with your dolls.
It'd be great if there was a story. Didn't we start the whole news segment? I thought we started the news segment a minute ago.
Oh, I was comparing. I was letting you know that I'm consistent, that I've been bullying retarded people from day one.
Yeah, I think we all get that.
You're ass whore.
Evil Bombshell Rae.
Ass whore. McDonald's burglary suspect has been arrested in Cape Coral. Surprise, surprise. After a drive-through order. He was
Smells
a
like
suspect in a burglary at the McDonald's last week. He returned to the restaurant, went through the drive-through. Police had issued a release with his photo asking people to help them identify this person. He actually broke into the restauant, A few days later, restaurant employees notified detectives that a man matching the suspect's description, the picture that they sent out, is in the drive-thru. Because he goes to the drive-thru and then strikes up conversation with the employees about the recent burglary.
Do you know why? Because
Narcissism.
Narcissism. Yeah. I pulled this off. Watch this. Here's what I like. That had to be an amazing thing because I worked at McDonald's and our conversations were never really deep. We weren't talking about Jean-Paul Sartre, nothing. Like we were actually never having conversation. More like, hey man, who farted?
Yeah,
That's
right.
what we did. Someone left the apple pies in too long. Put them in the thing anyway. By the way, just so you guys know, listening, if you go to McDonald's, you order one of the apple pies. 9 out of 10 times they're overcooked because someone left them in the fryer for an hour and a half. Just so you know.
Because you're high.
Yeah, because you're high. So that conversation had to go like, dude, what? Look at the drive-thru. That's the dude that robbed us, isn't it? No, ask him about the robbery. Did you hear about the robbery? Ask him.
No, the guy asked them.
I know.
He
But,
struck up conversation about his own robbery.
but at one point there was 4 heads sticking out of that drive-thru window with headsets, going, "That's the dude. That's the dude."
It ended in a chase on foot. He had to be taken down with a taser gun.
Because he was stuck in drive-thru. That's why. Because he started the conversation at the freaking speaker, and there was a car in front of him and one behind him, and he was totally screwed. Dumbest criminal ever. Sounds like Florida.
That's what I'm talking about, though. When I was learning about serial killers and stuff like that, one of the ways that profilers always suggested capturing a serial killer is they always return to the scene of the crime in some manner.
So they can. So it gives
Wayne Williams volunteered to help. They typically wanted to be cops a lot of times or some type of law enforcement. They end up in security jobs. They never quite make it. George Zimmerman. But he came back for the the volunteer
right
search
thing,
party and stuff like that. He volunteered for that.
Did
That's why they always photograph crime scene. The onlookers
Right.
in the street around houses and stuff like that, they always photograph every part of the people. I want to say audience, but the people looking, all of the volunteer people they look at. It's crazy. Narcissism.
Because someone found that one guy that profiler found that out, huh? He kind of
John Douglas.
Yeah, he pointed out that they're pretty much the guys kept showing up. That's weird. Human beings are just really effed up. I can't imagine going back to the scene of the crime. I guess part of you thinks like what I pulled off. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
it's
everybody's done it.
narcissism.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's a personality disorder called being an asswhore.
I wonder if there's a level of like critical mass narcissism we're going to reach as a society. In society, all of a sudden we're all going to have 1,000 or 1 million friends on Facebook, but we're not going to know anybody but ourselves because all we're doing is trading pictures of ourselves to other people, and the pictures that people send us we never look at because it's not of us. And then eventually we're just all going to stop talking and then die of starvation and basically hypothermia, whatever, because we don't talk to anybody anymore because it's all about us. It just seems like, and it's going that way, man. It's going that way. By the way, do you guys know I hit 40,300 people on Twitter?
Positive podcast.
It's the Positive Podcast with Titus.
But I'm down. A couple of people in Peoria.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comedy club there.
Yeah, there is.
We know a couple comics from there. They went in to rob a Walmart. They fled the Walmart Supercenter with all of their stolen merchandise, but without a small child, one of them dropped while fleeing the store.
Oh, no. They left the kid?
They dropped it while they were running, and they left it.
And they kept going.
They kept going.
Well,
Employees actually...
I get that. I mean, I get that. I've got two. I get that. I get it. I like it. That's not surprising. If you're already a criminal and you just left your kid at Walmart.
After the child was dropped, the three continued on to their vehicle.
Wow.
Police also said additional children had been left unattended in a vehicle during the incident.
Did these people get caught?
Yes.
Oh.
Because they figured out who the kid went with.
Yeah, probably.
Probably should have taken the risk of picking up the kid
Yeah.
that identifies you in every way.
Yeah. There's mommy. Is that the picture? That's mommy.
Or DNA or fingerprints or
Right.
anything.
Yeah. There's Daddy's car.
Our address is.
Our address is. Our
Mommy's
phone number
is
is
562. A woman has
you
lied.
You can't leave any more evidence at the scene of a crime.
No.
Than dropping your own child off.
No.
That's interesting.
By the way, I thought this was really cool because I'm a fan of dogs. Yesterday was National Canine Awareness or Love or some sort of day about dogs because people finally stopped posting pictures of themselves long enough to post a picture of their dog.
Them with their dog.
Yeah. A friend of ours, Zach Guten, actually posted a picture of his dog's pooping tandem, which I thought was pretty. That was pretty much it won.
It's very
the prize.
very Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Very Cirque du Soleil.
Investigators in the case against Subway have now come out and told, against Jared Fogle.
Yep.
They're actually they used what they call a porn sniffing dog, and that's how they were able to. It sounds
that dog's got the worst job in the world.
So obviously,
I used to smell pot. No, I got to smell. Found
man,
another tissue. Found another sock.
They don't actually literally sniff out porn, but they sniff out electronics. But these electronics often have porn on them. These dogs, actually Bear, he's a 2-year-old black lab rescue. You can see pictures of them when they're leading and carrying stuff out of his house.
Right.
Bear is there in a lot of the photos, and he's the one that actually found the stuff that was being hidden. He's been trained to track down hidden flash drives and other devices that might contain illicit material. There are only 4 other dogs in the United States that have this ability.
So they smell electronics, so you can't hide hard drives or anything.
Little flash drives that people wrap in a sock ball and put deep in the drawer or whatever. Bear can smell it, and that's how they've caught so many child
pornographers.
Yep.
Interesting.
Isn't that cool?
That is kind of cool. Again, not a good job for a dog though, because there's probably some let's just call it residue on those flash drives.
He actually sniffed out micro SD cards that are as big as a fingernail.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, you can smell the copper and stuff probably in them.
A woman has lied about being kidnapped to skip work. Panama City, Florida.
That's the reason?
Yes. Police have arrested a woman on charges that she allegedly lied about being kidnapped so she would not have to return to her job as a night shift nurse assistant.
That's a good job.
That's what I thought. I expected it to be like McDonald's or something.
Florida is like Patton Oswalt. I was listening to Comedy Central Radio, and Patton Oswalt did this, probably I would say the definitive bit about how bad Florida is. And it just goes on and on. And at one point I started giggling in the car. And, I listen to a lot of comedy, and Patton Oswalt is so funny, man. He just keeps just tearing Florida down to the point where it ends up being the sack where all the poison of the country rolls into it.
He took a lot of crap for that.
Oh, you know what? It's everybody. Why would he take?
Interestingly enough, from people in Florida. Interestingly enough, we're about to embark on our Florida tour, September 10th through the 13th. Tallahassee, then Gainesville, then Tampa, and then West Palm Beach. He is going to be in Tampa this week at the same theater.
He's probably going to pack it out because there's great people in Florida that understand that Florida is that. There's great people that they're like, I know we know. We know.
Anyway, the woman actually went on her lunch break, and she never came back. Her coworker got concerned, so she called the woman to see if she needed a ride or if something was going on, and this woman claimed that she had been kidnapped and she was being prevented from returning.
Prevented from returning. I love that. So, oh my God, you've been kidnapped. What do they want for ransom? They just don't want me to go to work, so I won't be until tomorrow. They said that I'm going to stay kidnapped until tomorrow, and then I can come in tomorrow. But for some reason, they want me to not be at work. That's the worst kidnappers ever. Worst ransom demands.
You dumb.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. All right, guys.
I said, come and see us. 9/10. It's going to be Tallahassee Turner Auditorium. At TCC.
Yep.
On the 11th, that's going to be Gainesville University Auditorium. That is on campus, actually, in Gainesville. And then Saturday, Strauss Center, Ferguson Hall in Tampa, and then Sunday one show at West Palm Beach Improv, 9/13.
We this new show's in Tacoma. This new show started kicking. Like people, when I write new material, what ends up happening is it kind of all these disjointed bits that I'm reading off paper. Then all of a sudden, after about 3-4 months, it starts to kind of come together as one show. The crap drops off, and then new stuff comes on stage because you guys are so good at listening. And now the show's just really, really solid together. Do me a favor, guys. At Titus Nation, so I can be a little more self-centered. Follow me on Twitter. We'll send you stuff on when I'm going to be, where I'm going to be. at Titus Nation. Follow me on Instagram. It's Christopher Titus01, right? On Instagram, that's it.
Yes, it is. And I'm Ray Bradley.
Yeah, I'm starting to post a lot of stuff on Instagram, videos and stuff. So go to Instagram. Also, The Real Christopher Titus on Facebook. Because, again, if we're all going to be narcissistic, I might as well join the fray. Also, if you guys want to get DVDs, do me a favor. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. I've got 6 other specials available, plus the box set, which has my first 4. Up through September 31st, all shipping is free. You're going to save about $7 if you order DVD, and all that money, we're tracking it, is going to help pay for the movie we're filming in February called Special Unit. Are we going to put that trailer on Christopher Titus TV? Yeah,
the
we're
new
gonna,
special unit trailer?
Yeah, we're going to put up a trailer for Special Unit with how to help us out and get it done. We've got about half the money raised right now. We need to raise the other half, but we're doing it no matter what. If I have to use a skateboard and my iPhone, we're filming this goddamn movie. So
That's
long.
right.
Yeah. So laugh out loud funny. The trailer's really funny on its own. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Titus Podcast.
Make sure to help us keep these doors open by going to ChristopherTitus.com and clicking through the Amazon link and buying whatever you were going to buy anyway. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps us out.
Yeah, go to our site first, click through the Amazon link, and then we get a little something to keep the doors open of the Combustion Lounge. I liked coming from the Combustion Lounge.
This weekend, San Antonio LOL Comedy Club, Friday through Sunday.
First time there, we were told that it's a great club, but they charged Ralphie May for a Coke.
Ralphie's bitter about that a little bit, which I understand.
We will give you a report on next week, guys. Thanks for listening to Titus Podcast. For myself, Bombshell Rae, and the fetus, later.
Peace out.
See ya.
That was good. He had vigor today.
He's really getting it down. I'm kind of proud of him.
Have you been dating or
he met
having
a girl.
relations?
He met a girl. Quote: "She's super hot, but she doesn't have a car."